Yeah, man. Whew. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Sam?
No, what?
Skylar's last comment.
Mike some magic. Oh my god.
Ooh. I feel your pain, man. Wow.
You know, I saw on Facebook the other day people started doing vasectomy cakes to celebrate that you got one.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
each their own.
All right. Ice up. Word up. Word up. That's it. That's all there is to it. Listen, so my kids make fun of me when I go word up. But let me tell you something. That deserved a word up. That's one of those things that never grow old. Word up. That's it. Dad and come on, son. Come on, son.
Come on.
Some things were just meant to be left alone. For some folks. God bless you, though, man. Tell you what. Gotta do what you gotta do. That's what I'm saying. Hey, did you watch that, I would agree with you, Russ. Did you watch the Saturday Night Live with Adam Sandler yet?
Yes.
Dude, the funniest skit in the history of Saturday Night Live happened when he was talking about the ED drug.
Oh, yeah.
My wife thought I was have to take me to the hospital. I literally haven't laughed that hard in years. Yeah. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Him and Farley were that.
But that was new.
That was nowhere, yeah.
It was insane. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I highly recommend watching that.
Because he hasn't done that kind of stuff in, like, years.
In years. It was as if, like... So it's really interesting, right? So, like... There's only two, in my opinion, two comedians that have been on Saturday Night Live that can step away for that long or that amount of time and step right back in with the right ride. Eddie Murphy and Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else. And he nailed it.
Oh, he did.
Cubic circle.
I mean, I was kind of tearing up during the tribute.
That was nice. It was great. It really was great. Very classy, very Sandler. Love Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Daniel Becker, first up for you.
The WTA just closed.
Great.
So
Miguel Tejada, Jersey at a 250. Guys, we got another email or text Leighton.
Yep.
Steve Martin, I'll give you that. You know what? I was never a big Steve Martin fan. Maybe it's just I missed him by a few years. I was never a big Steve Martin guy. Although The Jerk was he was in The Jerk. That was pretty good. Yeah, I never was. You know what? Not my thing. You know, it was. You know what I think is hilarious, by the way. Like I think Richard Pryor, even though he wasn't Saturday Night Live, Richard Pryor's out of his mind funny. Like Hear No Evil, See No Evil was too much. Way too much for me. Hilarious. Sam, you've never seen that, have you? Oh, definitely worth. Gene Wilder.
It's definitely probably way before his.
That's from the 80s. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, he's a 90s baby.
Yeah. Here's spot 3. Commons. Yeah, man. I mean, he's pretty. You know, but I gotta say, Eddie Murphy is fantastic. He's hilarious. We were actually quoting Eddie Murphy earlier when he was talking about here's the auto. Who's this? Aaron Harang. God, Aaron Harang was terrible. Terrible fantasy pitcher for a number of years. He struck out a lot of... He was a big strikeout pitcher, but when he didn't have strikeouts, he was worthless. Terrible. Give him a lot of homers. Dude, let me tell you. Eddie Murphy, when he's talking about his Aunt Bunny falling down the steps, it's too much. Look at your son over there, Gus. He'll be a 7-year-old, walking the dog, no house, mother. God, too funny. Spot 5.
Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy.
You know what? Jim Norton's a pretty funny guy, too.
Yes, he does.
Chef, he's a funny dude. Stir Crazy's great. Norton's a hilarious guy. You know what's funny? Jim Brewer's funny, too. So funny. Beverly Hills Cop is out of control.
All 3 of them were great movies.
Yeah.
48 Hours.
Oh, another 48 Hours. All of it was great. Here's spot 7, all commons. I gotta tell you what, Eddie Murphy in Raw and Delirious were great.
Yes.
They did, you know, it's so funny because when you watch Gene Wilder, you know, like, but he was,
Right.
and he wasn't funny. It was dark. It was dark. And then you see him later on with all his great comedies, and you're like, unbelievable how talented he was. Yes, hear no evil, see no evil. Here's a jersey of Connor Jackson. J5 Mad Hair Flow. Love it. I forgot that's Tim M. Tim caught him in West Side of LA doing that little shimmy. John Candy too. John Candy was great. You know what else was great? Underrated was and he's not like obviously in the Sam Kinison. He's more of a stand-up comic. But he was great in Back to School. Do you remember that one scene in Back to School? Fantastic. Coming to America, Skylar. Talk about my favorite movie of all time was Coming to America. Comedy, anyway. Johnny Gomes, jersey.
My brother is a stand-up comedian.
Dude, John... What's that?
My brother's a stand-up comedian.
Is he really?
Yeah, it's tough.
It is very tough, isn't it? I don't know what's tougher, that or being a struggling musician. I think...
I feel like they go like...
Probably...
hand in hand almost.
Yeah. Being a comedian is pretty... You're a pretty funny guy, though.
Yeah.
But you must have grown in your family. You're funny. Dry humor. It's funny. Yeah, probably the best... The Coming to America, my favorite part, or one of my favorite parts, besides the old Jewish guy, which I do the accent and the impersonation pretty well, but I won't do it now. My favorite part of that movie, remember when Eddie Murphy steps out on the balcony? Good morning! Remember that? It's an F-bomb there.
Isn't it?
That's right. Sam Kinison was, remember that, Doug? He was Al Bundy's angel in
Oh, that's right.
that was a great...
I just watched Married with Children over again.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That was great. Oh, Randy Watson, Russ. That's it. Y'all look so lovely. There you go. Thank you, Joe K. So, Joe K gets a 33 Gaudy. I'll hook him up with Leo Magnum. Very cool. Yeah, we had a good... Let me tell you something. They didn't make movies. The 80s movies, they don't make them like that anymore. They were just... I mean, there were so many great franchises from the 80s. You had, like, Revenge of the Nerds, Police Academy.
Love that.
Oh, what else? We'll do some 80s packs in honor here. Why not, right? In leading up to our 58 football cello at 8 o'clock. Yeah, man. Eddie, what about Fletch? Any Chevy Chase movie from the 80s was great. The Skunk. What up, man? Yeah, dude. Chevy Chase in Vacation. Every Vacation. Oh, Fletch. Fletch was great. Fletch was... Remember when he was... Spot... Was it Fletch where he had the wallet with all the different IDs?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the Spies Like Us was great. Spies Like Us was fantastic. Doctor, and Doctor. This is so funny, man. And it's so crazy because Porky's was... Dude, Tim, Porky's was great. Love Porky's. Police Academy, though, was one of my favorite.
I love Police Academy.
All of them. One of my fraternity brothers from college,
Uh-huh.
we knew back in the day, we called him Tackleberry.
Oh, no.
And he ended up becoming NYPD. It's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was the first one to go.
He died?
Tackleberry? Yeah.
When? No, he's not dead.
Tackleberry years ago.
You're lying.
No, I wouldn't make that up. If Bubba Smith passed away.
Well, that I knew.
It was a David Graff.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 2001.
It's crazy.
I know.
The radical vertical. Broby, you're damn right. I tell you, we didn't know how good we had in the 80s. The movies were fantastic in the 80s. Eddie Murphy, Coming to America, capped it off. Better Off Dead. Where's my $2? I didn't know Howard Stern wanted to do that. Better Off Dead was great. Hey, Winner Take All is closed. I think it's just closed. What do I got? I got here for 150, guys. The skunk. I've got a 33 Gaudy as a bonus. 75 each gets you 52 tops. Let me see what I can pull out of the goodie box here for a little bit of a higher bonus. You know what, guys? I do have another T206er. If you spend $250, I'm going to hook you up with a T206 common. I do have one sitting here for the last spot in the 67 Peachy. If we sell that, someone's got a T206 attached to that. Dude, John Cusack was the man in the 80s. Say Anything was one of the greatest movies of all time. It wasn't a comedy, but it was one of the greatest movies of all time. You texted Leighton about WTA?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay, great. All right, we're going to do this 83 football. Speaking of 80s, right? One Crazy Summer was great.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jason, you just got to go to VintageBreaks.com. Check out what we got going on. There's plenty of breaks that can take place tonight. We do have a lot of packs to catch up on, though, I'll be honest. Ton of packs to catch up on. So, we got, just so you guys know what's coming up, we got 8 o'clock, we got the 8 football cello. We also have the 72 football rack, which we're going to get to after that. Got a maybe a little bit after that. Also have St. Elmo's Fire was great. Also have the Flawless Football 2014 coming up about, we'll do that at 9 o'clock. And then we have other stuff, of course, as it sells out. If it's super high-end, we'll push it towards the front, like the 67 Peachy Baseball. I anticipate selling it out tonight. There's only one spot left in that. Plus, we're going to be here tomorrow from 1 to 11, celebrating our 150th anniversary of baseball promotion, which ends tomorrow night, FYI. All right? Get your spots now in order to get in on that. Go to events.vintagebreaks.com. You can check out all the cool prizes we're giving away, 26 in all. 25 to basically anyone who spends $3 or more. If you spend $1,000, accumulate $1,000 in purchases between the 22nd of April and, of course, tomorrow at 11, you get an entry into our grand finale, big banging PSA 6 Hank Aaron Topps 54 rookie card. Each 1,000 you accumulate gets you an entry. There are no limit to entries in either of the two promotions. All right, but events.vintagebreaks.com will break down all the prizes. You can see all the great cards and high resolution scans, as well as it'll break down the $1,250 in break credit we're giving out as well. So you can see that there. Mark, I don't believe we opened that yet. Oh, Skylar, there's so many quotes in that movie. All right, so what did I say? 6 here on the random. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bro, it's funny. Oh, man. You know, what's her name? What the heck is her name? She's a famous actress from the 80s. She owns she was one of the most popular actresses in those movies. No, not her. She owns a boutique down in downtown Manhattan. That's where she ended up retiring from. She was in oh God, it's gonna bother me.
Fast Times?
Yeah. Yes. No. Let me see who is not Demi Moore. It's no, it's not Jennifer Jason Leigh, so it's not. Oh, Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates owns a store in downtown Manhattan.
I think I've seen over here about that. Okay.
Phoebe Cates. We all remember Phoebe Cates. Ali Sheedy. Yeah, Phoebe Cates though was Phoebe Cates. Yeah, that was it right there. All right, right under the gum. Greg Wise. First card is yours. We're reminiscing about the 80s here, everybody. Yep. 80s were great. Reminds me of the old Eddie Murphy skit with the ice cream man. The ice cream man is, Mom, throw down some money. We used to do that. Here's Joe Cribbs. Yeah, the 80s were great. Derek Anderson.
Just retired.
Was he really?
Yeah.
The quarterback?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was around for a while.
Yeah, he was like a third stringer. He was good for a couple years with Cleveland, right?
Cleveland, yeah.
Joe Rose. I thought you were talking about Derek Anderson, the basketball player, also played with the Cavaliers. Indiana Jones was great. Here's Rick Upchurch. Of course, all the Star Wars films. Yeah, Fast Times was great, man. Fast Times was great. Here's Joe Delamelieur. I can always pronounce his name so well. Yeah, we got a WTA coming up, Skunk. Just hang out a minute. What's up, Ramon? How you doing, bro? Leighton's working on that WTA. Should be here momentarily with that. That was it, Chris. All right, Mike Hardenstein, spot 6. So this sticker goes to spot 1s for Greg. It's an extra. Richard Todd. God, we all hated Richard Todd if you were a Jet fan. Here's a Hall of Famer, Steve Largent. How bad Richard Todd was. Awful. Threw a lot of interceptions. Here's Vernon Dean. For Greg, here's Mark Van Egan. For Brian. Greg Coleman. You know what's funny is, like, there are those movies that you can, from the 80s, you can watch on, like, you know, the edited for television version. Like, Coming to America, you can watch on television. It's there's still some funny scenes.
Of course.
But the best scene you can't watch when he stands on the porch, remember? Good morning, neighbors! Yes! That was like, that and the opening scene, but, you know, that was awesome. All right, guys, we got a winner take all here, just in case you're wondering. 250 entries at $10, 7:30 start time, 83 baseball rack, 84 Donruss wax pack, PSA. This is for Michael Russo if you're hanging around. How about a PSA 8, 1968 tops, Rod Gilbert. Rod Gilbert. You got a 33 Gaudy Pennock. How about this, guys? How about a real nice, it's just off-centered, but a minty fresh 62 Mantle All-Star. Guys, are you kidding me? 60. I don't even need to show you the rest in here. Those 3 cards got a Bo Jackson rookie, Olajuwon, Garnett rookie. I think all you really care about, you got some heavy hitters on top. Got a Hall of Famer 33 Gaudy Pennock. What's up, Dom? Big Trouble in Little China was great. Mickey Mantle 62 tops, and the Rod Gilbert. Guys, I'm gonna take it right back here. What do you? Wow, you live next to Brian Bosworth. That was awesome.
Oh, wow.
All right, so that's the winner take all. 250 at 10, starting at 7:30. How about this? Starting at 7:30. Guys, what about They Call Me Bruce? How many of you remember They Call Me Bruce? Followed by the the sequel, They Still Call Me Bruce. Soul Glow Chef. That's it. But They Call Me Bruce was one of my favorite underrated 80s comedies. If you don't know about They Call Me Bruce, watch it. It was hilarious. And then, of course, there was what am I thinking of here? I'm losing my mind. Well, it's already lost, actually. What about? Oh, remember? That was like, it was Clue, and then there was
Clue was great.
Caveman. Caveman was great. If you guys want to see a very underrated movie, Caveman, with who was in Caveman? It was Shelley Long, Dennis Quaid, Ringo Starr. We've talked about this one in the past. Great stuff. Show enough. Cabin